Oh, well, thanks. It is a pleasure to be here, and yeah, I'm gonna talk a bit about the future of decentralized AI, and in particular, decentralized AI for decentralized finance, AI for DeFi, and there's a lot of really fascinating threads that are all coming together here. You know, a lot is possible with the technologies that we've built over the last few years, and we're going to see some amazing things rolled out in 2021. So let me start on the decentralized AI side, and then we'll go to the finance side from there. So I mean, artificial intelligence obviously is booming. You know, we're in the middle of what I think is the first of a series of waves of radical AI innovation that we're going to see during the next years and decades. We're in the midst of what I'm thinking of as a narrow AI revolution, a revolution wherein AI is doing highly specific things, are really penetrating every area of industry. And, you know, they're taking over one after another task that typically has been done by humans and doing in many cases a much better job. I think we're just starting to see the inklings of the next wave, which is the AGI, artificial general intelligence revolution, where we'll have AIs that are able to understand context better, to understand their own relationship to the world and the tasks that they're doing. And as AIs with greater and greater general intelligence are rolled out, I mean, that then we're going to see even more major disruption of the economy as we know it, even more humans put out of work, and yet even more amazing opportunities for those of us humans who are able to, you know, get involved with the rollout of AGI tools and more advanced AIs. And, you know, we have the narrow AI revolution, the AGI, artificial general intelligence revolution. Following that, we're going to have the revolution of artificial superintelligence. AI is far smarter than people, the singularity and all that. Now that's really exciting, and it's going to create most likely incredible abundance and joy for all of us, as well as doing some, you know, some minor things like obsoleting the whole economy and the world financial system. But what I want to focus on now is some of the next steps. So how do we get from where we are now with narrow AIs doing a few isolated things further toward general intelligence, and what does this have to do with, you know, blockchain and decentralized finance? So blockchain's role in artificial intelligence is really one of control and coordination. I mean, AI itself, the artificial thinking, it's done by neural network algorithms, it's done by logic systems, it's done by evolutionary learning and genetic algorithms. And, you know, I have a project called True AGI, which is spun off from the Singularity Net blockchain project that I'll tell you about in a moment. And I mean, True AGI is working on bringing together neural nets, logic engines, evolutionary learning in sort of a combined artificial cognitive process. You don't need blockchain for that. What you need blockchain for is so that all these different AI algorithms combining together to lead to advanced intelligence can be run in a decentralized and democratically controlled manner. So if you want to do AI in a way that combines a neural net over here, a logic engine over there, an evolutionary learning system over there, someone else's neural net over there, if you want a combination of different AI algorithms to cooperate together to yield some intelligent functionality, and you don't want that to happen in a way that's owned and controlled by one actor, right? But you want it to happen in a way that's controlled in a democratic way by everyone using the AIs, everyone supplying data to the AIs, everyone programming and running the AIs. That's what blockchain is for. It gives you decentralized governance and control and organization of a whole network of AIs that are intelligent on their own to some measure, and that achieve greater intelligence through their combination. And SingularityNet platform, which we launched in 2017 on the Ethereum blockchain, I mean, this is the first global decentralized AI platform. So on SingularityNet, anyone in the world who creates an AI can put it online on any computer. They can interface it with the SingularityNet APIs, and it joins the decentralized peer-to-peer blockchain network of SingularityNet AIs, which are, communicating in a secure way, outsourcing work to each other, passing data to each other, and paying for services using a cryptographic token, the AGI token, which is sort of the lifeblood of the SingularityNet AI network. So we launched that in 2017. We've launched better and better versions of that. We're in an advanced beta version of that now, and that's sort of the starting point, right? I mean, that's a decentralized AI network. That's a platform that you can use to deploy various AI applications in a decentralized way. And then now the next step is really to get traction for this decentralized network. I mean, the next step is to bit by bit start grabbing market share as well as mind share away from the big tech companies that are dominating the AI sphere now. And if you look at what AI is used for now in the world, I mean, there's military and surveillance applications. There's advertising, like Google, which is an advertising company heavily driven by AI, and there's Wall Street and finance, right? Or I summarize it sometimes as killing, spying, selling, and crooked gambling, right? And these are the main things driving AI development on the planet right now. Obviously, that's not ideal from any perspective. It's not ideal from the perspective of AIs doing good for the world right now, and it's not ideal from the perspective of the AIs that we're creating today growing into the artificial general intelligences and artificial super intelligences of tomorrow. I mean, both for the benefit of the world population right now, and so that the trajectory of evolution of smarter and smarter artificial minds is seeded in a more beneficial way. We would rather have a more democratic and participatory feel to the AI applications on the planet right now. And to really enable this, to enable large scale democratic, participatory, decentralized AI to flourish and to sort of steal the show from big tech company AI, we need a number of things to work out, right? I mean, we need greater scalability and lower costs of blockchain transactions, right? I mean, the difficulty of using Ethereum now in terms of transaction time and gas cost is insane, and I mean that makes it very hard to make a large scale, economical global AI mine. So with that in mind, SingularityNet is in the process of porting a large portion of our underlying AI network from Ethereum onto Cardano blockchain, and Cardano has lower cost and greater scalability than Ethereum at this moment, and they're rapidly rolling out some very sophisticated tools like the Plutus smart contract framework. So we're excited about that, and we're also excited about expanding the sort of currency conversion facilities within SingularityNet platform. I mean, now you can pay for AI services on the platform using PayPal, and the PayPal is converted to our AGI token on the back end. We're shortly rolling out something that will allow the provider of AI services on SingularityNet network also to get paid with basically any token or with fiat currency. So I mean, we have AGI token internally within the network as a sort of economic lifeblood, but the input and output should be with any fiat or crypto that the user wants to use. So between moving to Cardano for greater scalability and lower costs, and introducing further, crypto fiat conversion for interaction with the system, I think we're moving toward, greater usability of the platform on the whole. And then the other key to getting greater traction is, the AI network has to do something that's, not just more democratic and decentralized and philosophically and ethically pure than what big tech companies are doing, and not just with better and smarter AI algorithms than what Google and Facebook and so on have. We already have that. We have superior neural symbolic reasoning and evolutionary learning based creativity algorithms than what Google has. I mean, what you need is killer applications. I mean, you need this decentralized, participatory, democratically governed AI network with its superior AI learning and reasoning algorithms. You need it to be doing stuff that nobody else is doing. That's just a big leap beyond what anyone else can do. And we're working on that in a few different domains. I mean, medicine is one domain we've been putting a lot of time into, and we've shown in some recent work that using our decentralized AI on SingularityNet, we can do personalized medicine better than anyone else is doing, like learning based on someone's DNA data, which drug will work better for them if they have cancer, or which combination of antivirals will work better for them if they have COVID and so forth. And this is using neural symbolic AI, going beyond what the pharma industry is traditionally using. We're also working on a very exciting project in the medical robotics space, which we're going to have announcements about, unfortunately not today, but in the pretty near future, where we're using decentralized blockchain-based AI network to control robots that are going into elder care facilities and helping old people. And I think this can be a huge growth area, because you have a need for data privacy and confidentiality, where each person controls their own medical data that's going into a decentralized network, and you have huge power for AI in making medical judgments based on the data put into a decentralized network by a lot of different people for everyone's benefit. But the other area I think is really going to be huge in driving adoption for decentralized AI networks like SingularityNet is DeFi, decentralized finance. And we've seen in the last 6 months or so incredible flourishing of DeFi systems running on Ethereum blockchain. This is part of why Ethereum has become so damn slow and expensive, in spite of ongoing technology improvements in the Ethereum infrastructure. And it's really interesting what we're seeing in the DeFi space. I mean, there's been all sorts of advanced algorithmic constructs and futures and options markets and yield farming in various forms in traditional finance for a very long time. But it's been there just to benefit, the top 1% of 1%. It's been there to benefit the elite at the expense of the rest of humanity. And with decentralized finance, what we're seeing is that these complex financial machinations that have been used to accelerate the process of the elite sucking wealth from the rest of the human race, these sophisticated financial machinery are now being used in a more democratic way, where anyone with a crypto wallet and an Ethereum address can use these sophisticated financial tools to increase their own wealth in the same way that investment banks and sovereign wealth funds have been doing for a long time. And I think it's time for AI to join the party, right? Because AI has been critical in finance, traditional finance, for a long time. I mean, I got a patent myself in the late 1990s for certain aspects of use of natural language processing and news analysis to fuel financial price prediction for equities and futures. It was like 1998 or something, right? AI has been there in finance since forever. The prediction company was using AI in nonlinear dynamics in 1985 or something on equities markets. But now I think it's time to bring AI to bear on the decentralized finance market. So you're democratizing the use of AI for advanced financial prediction, for risk management, for arbitrage, for automated market making. I mean, AI can help with all these things. And of course, the right way to do that is via decentralized AI networks, such as SingularityNet. And I think this can enable a lot of interesting stuff. So one area I've been thinking about a lot lately is, extending decentralized finance from just the top few cryptocurrencies, from the Ethereums, Bitcoins, USDTs of the world, extending decentralized finance sort of further down in the market cap hierarchy. So can you take, you know, middle liquidity altcoins or lower liquidity altcoins, and can you use artificial intelligence to make it more feasible to do decentralized finance on top of these lower liquidity altcoins? And to the extent that AI can help to extend DeFi to lower liquidity altcoins, then what you're doing is you're bringing to bear the sophisticated tools of mathematical finance to the problem of getting more funding into cryptocurrency based projects that are at earlier stages of development, right? Because the whole venture capital industry is ridiculously corrupt and serves to benefit sovereign wealth funds and investment banks and so forth, who are putting money into the VC funds more than it serves to benefit the entrepreneurs or the customers, right? So to the extent that you can use AI powered DeFi to create systems that smooth out the funding of lower liquidity altcoins, what you're doing is you're creating an alternative to the whole corrupt global tech VC ecosystem. And I think we're primed to see a lot of interesting things like that happening. I mean, just to give one example of why AI is important here, I mean, if you're trying to do market making for lower liquidity altcoins, which is what you would need on the back end of decentralized finance instruments for these altcoins, I mean, you need better predictive market making than what we have now. But AI for predictive market making, I mean, that's there since forever in traditional finance to benefit the elites. And what we need is to use machine learning to help roll that out for lower liquidity altcoins in the crypto sphere, right? And we have the AI tools to do that within our SingularityNet ecosystem. And now with all the recent advances in decentralized finance, I think we have the basic financial infrastructures to do that as well. So I'm foreseeing tremendous growth in this space during the next year, both in things that we ourselves do from SingularityNet and in things that are done by the broader community using SingularityNet to Ocean Protocol and a host of other decentralized AI tools. So yeah, in summary, I would say, the decentralized AI space, it's in a very interesting position. I mean, when I first got into blockchain-based AI in 2017, it was mostly ideas and visions, right? And then we spent a few years building stuff, and now we have real large-scale decentralized AI networks that are doing cool things. We're at the next stage now, which is how do we get massive scale traction for these things? And there you're looking at which vertical markets have the most maturity with regard to leveraging decentralized AI. And I think medicine is one of them because of data privacy issues. It will drive many applications toward blockchain and away from centralized solutions. And finance is certainly another one. And there's such a long history of AI applied to finance. And since we already have AI connected to blockchain, AI for DeFi is a natural combination. I've highlighted the potential there for AI to help extend DeFi lower liquidity altcoins, but there's a whole lot of other things also. I mean, if you look in futures markets on traditional finance, there's amazing uses of AI for risk management over futures portfolios. That's not there yet for Bitcoin, Ethereum futures, and other crypto futures. But I mean, it certainly should be, and I expect to see platforms like Singularity and Ocean, scaled up big time for these and all sorts of others of DeFi systems during the next year. So I mean, I'd encourage everyone active in the DeFi space to start thinking about where is AI used for similar things in the mainstream finance space now by various hedge funds and investment banks and whatnot, and how can AI be used to increase the intelligence and the functionality and the return and minimize the volatility of whatever I'm doing in the DeFi space. So yeah, thanks. And next year I look forward to describing some of the demonstrated achievements of AI in the DeFi space. I think the next year is going to be breakthrough here.